Welcome back to part 2. If you were with us last week, we are talking about something that is critical for any parent anywhere, but especially here in the Mid-South, and that is, how is our school system doing? Well, not so great, but we've got an election coming up, and so that is the perfect time for us to visit here on the Current Temp. Thank you for joining me. We are about to jump right back into it, so I'm going to go quickly through a couple of important things. Lexus of Memphis, critically important. Thank you for being a sponsor and a partner here on the Current Temp, and we are just honored to be associated with you and that brand. And I'm honored to be associated with my friend here, Dr. Fred Tappan, whose name keeps flying by my screen here. Eureka True-Vine Baptist Church pastor. This is part 2. We're going to continue last week's conversation, and I'll give you a quick rundown on Dr. Tappan. Extremely involved for many years, a pastor for almost 30 years. He's been involved in youth ministries, Harvard Leadership Institute, the Memphis Theological Institute. His credentials, I can't even do him justice. Let's jump right back into it. I'm going to go through a few stats for anyone who wasn't with us last week. Memphis Shelby County School Systems has over 100,000 kids, 220 schools. As Dr. Tappan reminded me, that makes it Tennessee's largest public school district. I don't know if you knew that or not. And a recent audit said we're not doing that great. They found, and by the way, we're still getting information coming out. This is just part of what they've already found.
Right.
Over $1 million wasted and abused. And let me tell you something, $1 million would go a long way for Memphis City Schools. An additional 1.73, so now we're up to almost $2 million in policy violations, things not done the right way. Over 175 internal control deficiencies, which means they're doing things wrong. I want to draw attention to this quote at the bottom from the comptroller who is starting this. He said this: there is an absolute culture of apathy and carelessness, which means nobody cares and they're not good at what they do within the Memphis Shelby County school system. There is at no level an expectation that things are done right. That depressed me. Now, a couple more numbers for you. 83% graduation rate when it should be 92. That's the state average. The reading, math, and science is about half of what it should be, and 1/3 chronic absenteeism rate. All right, that's the quick update, and this is where we left it last week. It looks like we are going to be taken over by the state. Yes or no?
It looks like it. It passed the Senate and the House, so it has to go to the entire House now. For the vote. After that, then it's just about done. So it's about 75% sure that the takeover is going to happen. And let me use a better word than takeover, the oversight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's jump into that because I do not have enough information. By the way, Dr. Tappan is running as an independent for the school board, District 6. The vote's coming up this August. Let's say the oversight does occur. For people that don't understand what does that look like? I'm assuming there will still be a school board.
Yes.
How does that look? What happens?
There will still be a school board. School board will go about their regular business. However, there will be an oversight board that is watching everything that occurs. And if they see something that is out of kilter or is something that doesn't fit the vision of what they say it should look like, then they're going to call it into play and say, hey, what's going on here? Can you explain this? And this is what I imagine it's going to be. But they will have the right of first refusal. So if there's something that they don't like or they don't think is in the best interest of the school board, I believe that they will have the power to make that change.
They'll have the final say.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't know what that will look like in terms of the houses, the Senate and the House. I don't know what that will look like. I don't know if they will get involved with it after the oversight board says, hey, this doesn't need to happen or this does need to happen. But I'm not sure about that mechanism, but it will be something like that.
So we still need good men and women on the school board.
One of the things that I want to do, one of the reasons that I am running, other than our 3 priority stakeholders
Tell me, what are those?
Those are the students, our teachers, and our parents.
Okay, all right.
Forms a triumvirate of power to make sure that our kids are educated adequately.
So back to my question, do we still need a school board?
Yes. So the way to remove the oversight board is for the board to function properly, where there will be no need for oversight. Unfortunately, over the years, we have given them ammunition for this to happen. It's sad to say, but all you have to do is look at the headlines. When is the last time, Joey, that you have heard students or teachers or parents lead a story about the Shelby County School Board?
I have. In fact, what you hear is we've got a skip day with a tragic shooting.
Yeah.
Or we hear that our money's being wasted and,
Yes.
and everybody is failing in the classroom.
Yes.
And I'm an honored graduate of the Memphis City school system. I did not start off this episode that way. All my life, Memphis City school system.
I've chimed in, graduate of Mitchell High School.
Right. And it did me well.
Mm-hmm.
Where this is impossible to put a finger on,
Mm-hmm.
but does it have something to do with, and I know we've got lots of good teachers,
Oh, definitely.
but there are probably also some that aren't so good.
Definitely.
How do we address that?
Well, I've worked with Teach for America for a while in relation to recruiting teachers, because they recruit teachers out of our church, and they have a wonderful training program. It is an awesome training program. We need to really get deeper into that, making sure that our teachers are trained, make sure that they are ready. They have, I believe, 3 to 5 years of ongoing improvement modules for them to make sure that they don't have questions, or make sure that all of their questions are being answered in relation to their teaching. And that support is invaluable. And so that's one of the things that we need to do, is make sure that our teachers are supported, not only financially, which they need to be. The salaries need to raise.
So
The
many
salaries
of them
need to be raised.
buy their own supplies.
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
that all the time.
Yeah, yeah, and it makes no sense. From $900 to $1,200 a year, they have to invest into their class just to have the basics that they need. Now, remember this, and I'm gonna be quiet after this.
Nope.
I think we get, if I'm not mistaken, and this is a round number, Memphis Shelby County Schools, $900 million from the state.
What?
Yeah,
Where is that going?
yeah, I don't know, and I'm not sure if that's an aggregate number for everything, but I know we get the majority of the money from statewide. We get more than any other school
Listen,
board.
okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
I went and spoke this year at my elementary school, which is in the Fraser-Raleigh area. I hadn't been there in 40-something years, maybe longer, since I was there.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke in the cafeteria. The tile on the floor is the same nasty tile that was there when I was in the first grade, and that was 1,000,000 years ago. Nothing's changed. You're telling me $900 million, and I talked to the principal, talked to her staff. I said, "What?" She goes, "We can't get any attention. Nothing's been upgraded."
Yeah.
And like you gave me a statistic earlier about kids not being able to read, and you said something I think is worth saying again. You said 1st through 3rd grade,
Kindergarten through third grade,
they
learn to read. 4th to 12th, they read to learn.
which is a brilliant statement. I don't want this to be all negative. Tell me some other areas where we can improve, and let's talk about things like, listen, kids are going to have a skip day. I know that's going to happen.
Yeah. We had it when I was there.
Right, but we have reached a place in time in our society where some of these dummies are running around with a gun.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have a tragedy.
Yes.
Where do we do?
I mean, unfortunately, the way that times are today, things have to change. Things were different when we were kids. Things were different when we were at our senior skip day. Everybody looked forward to senior skip day. We were at Overton Park on our senior skip day, so it brought back memories to me. But it was about having fun. One of the things that happened is, I think, and my wife and I were talking about this, it wasn't just one school.
Right.
And so there were an aggregate of schools that came together.
That's problematic.
And when you bring those people together, they don't know each other, and
you
then
got school rivalries.
Exactly.
You got rivalries.
And with the environment that we have of gangs and all the other things going on, it was a recipe for disaster. And so we have to, again, go back to, remember we talked about the carelessness? Everything needs to be, we need to be myopic as far as a board about almost everything that we do. Because some things need to be challenged, some things need to be changed, some things need to stay the same. And we need to have a way to do that. And I think we're going to have to reevaluate and reinvent the way the board works.
Expound on that for a minute, because it seems to me through this discussion, that's where our issue has a heartbeat. How do we make a better board?
And I hate to sound like a broken record. We've got to go back to the 3 priorities. Because we can't have this person have a priority about this or this person have a priority about this. First of all, we got to fix the education. Once we do that, then let's bring all these other things in as far as our schools are concerned, the upkeep of our schools, the maintenance of our schools. All that has to be a part of it. The first thing we have to do, in my opinion, is get the education right. Let's be myopic about the education. Let's make sure that this is right. Now, this is corrected. Now we can begin to take on other projects in relation. I'm not saying don't deal with those other projects, but the priority is educating the children. That's why we're here. We wouldn't have the positions without the students, without the teachers, without the parents. So we've got to focus, I call it making sure that we major in don't major in minor things.
I like that.
And so we've got to major in the major. And so it's very important for us to get that taken care of. Then we can take care of some of the other problems that are going on. But the priority is a priority. We have to have a priority. We have to have a priority.
You know, as someone who is very open about my love for Memphis and the Mid-South,
yes,
I know
yes.
you would do as well. Mm-hmm. It has pained me over the years. I've been privy to meetings as new businesses are coming in, being pitched to should we bring our corporation to Memphis? And one of the things I heard year after year was their hesitancy. I know what you're about to say. Yeah. Because they didn't think they had the workforce here to hire to man their positions.
Joey, look at the numbers.
That's my point.
This is what they see. They see those numbers.
Right.
And they say, well, we're going to move on.
And so that's the first thing that jumps into my brain. We need more businesses and corporations to help elevate the harbor, which would lift all the boats.
Right.
But they're not coming because our kids are not testing out of high school or dropping out. And so if I could do anything with this conversation, it would be to shine a light on the fact that that board has got to get it right and put the politics aside and say, let's focus on those 3 fundamentals. How do we lift our kids up? We got to start there. If they're not getting educated, if they can't read, if they can't be proficient,
right?
It's a domino effect, and everything continues to fall down.
That's it. I mean, you said a mouthful that we've got to put politics, regionality. We've got to put that all behind us, and we have to come together as one mind and say, hey guys, we got to focus on these 3. Right here. Let's fix this right here. There's a theological term called a hapax legomenon, one of my favorite words of all time. A hapax legomenon is something that happens only once in the Bible. We have, as a board, I believe, been too hapax legomenomic in saying, okay, we'll do this and forget about it. Let's try it here. If it works, let's continue to do it. Not just try something just to be trying it. We've tested it. We've looked at it. We've looked at other boards to see if it worked with them. If it works, go ahead and do it. But sometimes we'll have a great amount of energy at the beginning, but then we'll get focused on something else, and the oversight for that is not in place anymore. And so we will have peaks and valleys instead of having a steady upward trajectory.
You know, you mentioned something in our last show about monitoring it. That to me sounds common sense crucial.
Yeah, it is. That doesn't get monitored, doesn't get done because there's no oversight. There's nobody saying, okay, is it graded? Even at our church, we have a gradient of each ministry. Hey, did you meet, this is what you said you were going to do at the beginning of the year?
Right.
Did you meet these goals? If not, halfway through the year, we have another one. We started, and then 6 months later, how are you headed? You need help with this? You need someone to come in and mentor you, or to help you with some of the ideas that you have. And that's the way that this should work in the school system. It must be monitored, and it must be monitored in a timely manner. Otherwise, you lose control.
Right.
And so things sometimes, real negativities, real failures won't show up until much later, until it's out of control.
Right.
And so I think that's some of the things that we are dealing with right now. My job as a board member, I believe, is to keep us focused on what's most important. That triumvirate of individuals that we just discussed. We've got to make sure that everything that we do is based on, is this going to help the three stakeholders? Is this going to be a detriment, or is it going to be a value to the three stakeholders? And I think everything that we do should revolve around that. And if we do it that way, then we know that every decision that's made, it's going to affect positively our three stakeholders.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask the silent partner here behind the audio board if she had a question for the good doctor. Any questions? We had a lively discussion a minute ago. Let me wrap up with this, and I'm going to get your closing thoughts.
Yes, sir.
This is just my opinion. As you're getting ready to vote, and I hope you do vote. These kind of things are critical. You don't complain if you don't vote. I love that phrase. If you don't vote, you can't complain.
Yes.
But when you're looking at candidates, think about candidates who are tried and true and what their actual goals are. I'm looking at a gentleman here who is not doing it to get rich or make money or needs more on his plate, but he knows what he's doing, and he has a heart for the community, and I hope you're able to enact that. And by the way, and I'm going to give some people some information here on you as well. If you want to know more about Dr. Tappan and what his plans are, and he's actually got it spelled out. Like, do you have ideas? Oh yeah, he's got them. You can go to his tappanforschoolboard.com to see it. There's a very unbiased, nonpartisan write-up at justmymemphis.com. You want to get more information about the candidates, I encourage you to do that. Closing thought.
One thing that I do, we are putting out a video every Monday morning at 8 o'clock on Facebook that tells a little bit about another subject in relation to the Memphis Shelby County School Board that needs to be covered. We do that we will do it every Monday until election day.
Where can they see it here? Tappan for School Board?
It'll be on Tappan for School Board.
Okay.
And it comes up every Monday morning at 8 o'clock. We're about, I think we're at six videos in. They all last about 40 seconds.
Okay.
And it gives you another view of something that can be done about a problem or a situation that we have in Shelby County Schools. And I'm just elated. I want to be a part of it. It's about legacy for me now. It's not about accolades. I've had those. It's about legacy. And I want my legacy to be that this man, while he was on the board, made a difference. He made a difference, a positive difference, for the children, for our teachers, and for our parents, bringing them together so we can have a wonderful, wonderful school board. And that's what I want to see. I can remember remembering when I was in school, and we had a wonderful time, man. The school board functioned very well. And I looked up to a lot of the administrators that we had at our school. In fact, my principal's still alive. He's about 95, and I still remember the effect that he had on me. I wouldn't be the man that I am today without Alfred Motlow. And so I love him to death, even to this day. And that's what we need to have, that we're looking up to our administrators and saying, you know what, they may have made a mistake there, but I know their heart's right.
Listen, you don't have to think back very far to think about a specific teacher or coach or pastor who took an investment in you and made a difference.
Yes.
We all have that person. And one of the things I love about you is we both want to see our community rise and thrive. And so I appreciate your time. I value your verbiage, and you know that we will be talking more. All right. Dr. Fred Tappan, find out more about him. And listen, friends, don't sit idly by. Be part of the solution. And that means voting. That means getting involved in your community. And you know, like I said, a rising harbor does float all ships. And we definitely want that for Memphis and the Mid-South. All right, if you would love to be a part of our show, we'd love to talk to you. We're accepting applications for sponsorships, and one of the ways we start that conversation is through an email, and many of you have emailed already, and I've enjoyed talking to you. Contact us. It could be about that or even an idea for a show or a comment on something you've heard or you'd like to see covered. It's real easy, thecurrenttemp@gmail.com. Dr. Fred Tappan, one of my favorite people, thank you for being here.
Thank you, young man.
All right, and thank you folks for being here as well. Have a great week.